Merhaba.
Selamlar arkadaşlar. Ufak bir ses denemesi alalım yine. Sanırım beni herkes temiz bir şekilde duyabiliyor tekrar diye tahmin ediyorum.
Aynen.
Aşağı geliyor, tamam. Aşağı yukarı herkes linke geldi. O yüzden daha fazla bekletmeden başlayabiliriz. Tekrar yine şubelerinizde linki lütfen paylaşalım. Arada link değiştirirken insanlarımız kaybolmasın. Blinkminds oturumuyla devam ediyor olacağız. Sanıyorum buradaki çoğu kişi artık Blinkminds ve Nazlı Hanım'la aşikar bir ilişkide diye tahmin ediyorum. Kendileriyle Atcom'da birlikte olduk. Dijital zirvemizde birlikte olduk ve şu an Atemco'da da birlikteyiz. Ben sözü fazla uzatmak istemiyorum. Kendisi zaten kendisini tanıtacaktır. Kendisini host da yaptık. Zaten bir problem olduğunda biz buradayız. Tekrardan hoş geldiniz. Bizlerle olduğunuz için çok mutluyuz. 2020'nin neredeyse bütün etkinliklerinde Blinkminds'le beraberdik. Umarız bu güzel birlikteliği 2021'e taşırken de güzel Atemco ile, en büyük Atemco ile birlikte güzel bir yıl finişi yapacağız. Şimdilik söz Blinkminds'te ve sevgili Nazlı Hanım'da. Benden de şimdilik bu kadar diyebilirim.
Mikrofonu açtım. Herkese merhaba. Hoş geldiniz. Ben de çok fazla zamanınızı almadan hemen sunuma başlıyor olacağım. Okay. So, hello everyone. This is Nazlı, joining from New Jersey. So welcome and happy holidays. How are you all feeling? I'm feeling very hopeful for 2021. So, and you guys can hear me, right? I just didn't check that, but I think you do. Okay, perfect. So, what we're gonna do, we're going to talk about motivation. We're going to talk about energy, leadership, empowerment principles, and we're going to check out with a few tips of today. So, I'm going to start with the good time journey, what I call it life. So since there's no single destination in life where you can put your goals into a GPS, I mean, I wish we could do it, and turn by turn direction. So what you can do, so if we don't have that choice, what you can do is to really pay attention to the road signs, in front of you and make your best way forward, with the tools that, we have at hand. And what that means that the first that, we just need to look at the ways to find, like your engagement and energy. And when it comes, with the first question, and the equation is very simple in my mind, is that, what you love doing, even if it's really easy to just, think about it, but when you come into the why you do it, it's where it comes your intention, and, equals motivation. And it is very important that, you actually keep this equation in your mind, because it's going to help you to put your energy in your leadership in any part of your life, either today or in the future. So as most of you know, that I really like asking questions and kind of engagement, throughout my session. So my next question is that if you can use your phone, and I'm sure all of you have, just to, put the QR code and just really answer what makes you motivated at work, home, or school. Just one word or one sentence, whatever it comes to your mind. And just let me know if the QR code doesn't work for you, then, we can just use the chat, but I just want to see everything in the cloud. Okay, so I'm looking at my other screen to see your answers. Awesome. I like the chocolate one. So there's chocolate. Awesome. Honesty, success, friends, work. Okay. So basically you're just writing everything from a Maslow theory, right? Have you guys heard about the Maslow theory? It's starts with the biological, needs, from chocolate and water up to the growth and achievement and success and friends and belonging and love and everything. So music, and it's awesome. How did you make you feel that just writing about things that just motivates you, instead of just thinking about a class or or a meeting that you just really don't like to be in? So probably it feels good, right? Because, you have a lot of way to, you know, like actually motivate yourself. So Frederick Herzberg, I don't know if you heard about him, but American psychologist, and it's been very well known, you know, in the business world as well, was trying to think and find a way about why people do what they do. And this thinking is really aligned, you know, like about finding your purpose that focuses on your motivation. And then he asked that question, you know, which kind of I ask you right now, you know, what are the motivators to get someone excited to come to work or school in the morning? So, I mean, his study found that, you know, motivation is really are associated with all of the needs that we just talked about, you know, everything that you, everything that, you know, you talked about and you wrote about. So, and then the psychological needs for growth, recognition, advancement, achievement. So if you can think of, you know, like your peak performance, you know, where you actually were motivated doing something, and that probably is going to be your intention, what makes you really happy, you know, and just you love doing that. And how it made you happy as well. It's very important. And then the equation comes in the why. So if you tell me today that, you know, what motivates me is just to earn money, I will just, you know, like kind of ask you more questions, how much money you want to earn, and you're going to earn money by doing what? What are you going to do with it? So it's very important to get into the why. And what makes you motivated is something that to keep in your mind, you know, like about your future plan, because we don't. 85% of the people is really just put their energy, which I'm going to show you. I'm going to talk about the energy is that where you are either, you know, like you think that you lose, or you just, you know, like angry at something because you're not maybe your true self and conscious, you know, like you're not, you know, like where you want to be. So these are all questions that, you know, I ask people, you know, like through my, you know, like one-to-one session or, you know, different workshops. So if you are motivated, let's say that, you know, how much you are engaged. So it's very important just to think about, and I'm going to just, you know, like switch this. So most of the time at my career, you know, for 15 plus years, you know, I was most likely around here, like have to and need to. So basically in the corporate world, you know, like I've been trying to get into that GPS that we don't have a GPS. You're like, okay, I'm going to right or left or straight, but you always think about that. Okay, I don't have any choice. You know, I have to do this. I have to be in this meeting, or I have to take this class. And this is actually, you know, like most of the people's, you know, like a life journey. Then you're just, you know, like actually growing into some of the learnings, and you're just like, okay. And if you're really just working on your self-awareness, then you're most likely to make a choice. I'm all about the choices. And then you have a little bit about more engaged because you're like, oh, I need to do this because I'm actually, you know, like choose this project because I really choose this role. And today, this is where I am. And it took me a while, and that's why actually just today, you know, with all my desire, I'm coming with Blinkminds to actually help you to design, you know, your life with my workshop that is coming up in January and so on. Because when you choose to do what you want to do and you're engaged, and if you're 50% engaged, you're 50% successful. And if you are 80%, 80% successful. And I'm going to get into this, you know, like a road to motivation where it comes to growth mindset with the leadership, what is actually cross line, and then how we can actually think about our energy. So road to motivation in leadership, like everything I talk to, you know, like until now, is just what makes you motivated. And that's actually like what creates, you know, like your leadership, and puts a lot of energy into it as well. So the leadership creates I was looking at your chat, you know, if I missed anything. So leadership creates, you know, purpose-driven goals, like gives clarity. So if I don't know why I'm doing what I'm doing, then I'm just really motivated. I'm not. So it's very important that if any of you, and maybe most of you, are just leading your team, it's important that you give the clarity. And if you're not clear about why you do what you do, then I would just really highly recommend you to just think about what you're doing today and see if you're clear about what you're doing, because that's exactly the message that you're going to be, you know, like delivering as a leader. And the leader communicates daily with employees. It's also important that you communicate with daily employees, not through WhatsApp, not through social media. It's really not one-to-one meeting, you know, like weekly, but really spending time understanding their behavioral characteristics, because this is the only way that you can actually understand their DNA, and communicate. A leader nourishes the team and builds relationship and trust. And some of you, like I heard that, like in between this cloud, motivators, like honesty, for example, it's very important. If it's not your priority is honesty, doesn't matter, you can still build a trust, like by being very clear with your message, by listening your team members, by being a leader with the growth mindset, empowering them, which means if you trust someone, you're going to understand their feelings, and you're going to be able to, like delegate some of the works that, like they will enjoy. And I always think that a leader doesn't just get the message across, a leader is the message. So basically you are the message. So your energy, your message is the key. Okay. So there's no QR code for this, but what energetic level are you? And this is not something that, like you just wake up in the morning, you're like, okay, Nazla, what energetic level are you today? It's not it. It's just, it really just grows into by time. And it just, like kind of develops, just like you're developing your growth mindset, like emotional intelligence. Everything in this world is made of energy, your thoughts, feelings and actions. And you are the energy, as I told you. And your energetic makeup is affected by every thoughts and feelings and emotions you have in the past or in the present today. So the leadership is how you interact with everyone, but also including yourself. You need to really interact with yourself in order to lead others. And that's where I think the energy comes into it. And everyone is a leader. If any of you, I think around like 500 people, if you don't think that you're a leader, then you're really limiting yourself. I mean, my son, like 7 years old, he thinks that he's leading me sometimes, because that's exactly, I'm actually just teaching him how the growth mindset is very important to develop from an early age. And that's what I'm here with you. And if you don't think yourself as a leader, let's think again. Like today, you make a decision that you're a leader. Okay, if you want to just get one thing from this session, and leading is the way that like we help people to into action, right, including ourselves. And the question is not whether you're a leader; it's just how you lead it. So it's and how we answer this question, how we lead, ourselves or others. And this is where, like, again, Blinkminds comes into to make the change in the world, maybe not today, maybe, like a little by little, but that's exactly why we're here. And consciousness is the level of your self-awareness. And the more you're self-aware about yourself, instead of just really thinking about what you have been trained to or what you have been told to. So it's really important to true self. It really has no limits. And I'm going to give you a little bit of, like empowerment, like principles for you to think through. And then the tips, you're going to just maybe keep repeating that every day. It helps. But how fully you realize your true self, it's very important than what you have been told to or trained to. And that's why you see a lot of, like misengagement in corporate world. And this is the reason, because everybody is trained to be someone else, or they train to be what they are, their teacher things, or what they are, like manager things. So your level of consciousness is determined, like how you see yourself around the world too. So the higher level you have, is the more productive you're going to be. Peaceful, powerful, and healthy, most importantly. And there's and everybody just think, like on this age, I remember myself, I just need to be successful. I need to be successful. I think engagement and also consciousness is a very direct relationship with success. So when we think about energy, which I'm going to show you the chart, in a little bit, but the energy is the potential that people have for success in life. We all have energy, like actually we are just spending our energy right throughout the day. So right now I'm spending my energy because I'm talking. You guys have been listening to all the presentation and me right now. So your level of energy determines, your success. The more you have it, the better you will do. And self-perspective is very important. So the level that determines your energy is also what's reflected to you. So let's say that I'm always, like my energy is that I'm a victim. I'm sure that you have seen some of those people, especially on TV all the time, all these you know, things that we are watching is that there's always a victim. Like if you have this energy of victim, probably you're going to be attracting the people that feel like a victim. So it's really important that how much of the energy you want to put into yourself, which is going to attract others. That's the law of attraction. And to increase, and also it's important how important that, you know, like effective you are as a leader. And that's the whole point about the energy. And when you think about it, you know, about the consciousness, you know, like what Blinkminds has been telling you, what I actually believe 100% is that you create your own world and you create your own futures. And in some cases, in some societies, in some countries, you know, like we have been told what to do. We have been affected by society, by country, by teachers, by brothers and sisters, you know, which kind of, you know, like kind of get us stuck, what I call it as a container. And we just kind of, you know, try to breathe in that container. So what I'm trying to do with Blinkminds, open that container, because when you open it, your engagement success, everything changes. And I'm just, you know, like telling you from this experience of myself. So if you're interested about my life story, you can always, you know, reach out to me because it's quite interesting. And that's why, you know, like Blinkminds is here to just, you know, create that self-awareness, design your life. You know, there's not one way, there's more ways, but you just need to make a choice. You need to be very self-conscious. So let's look at this. So even if you don't see it, I'm going to go through it. But this is the energy self-perception that the leaders most of the time has been trained to. So the first part is 1 and 2. If you can see it, the 1 is apathy, and then the second is anger. So this is, you know, like it's self. And 85% of the people go through this. There's no way that, you know, like, oh, I need to be up here because this is good, this is bad. No, this is life. And then the second circle is the self-mastery. It's, you know, you go to 3, 4, 5, forgiveness, compassion, and peace. And then the third one is self-transcendence. So this is, you know, 6 and 7. So this is very important because these, you know, like levels, you know, like the average or, you know, like your level is somewhere between 1 and 7, right? And no one can actually just be on average at 1 all the time, not for a long time, or 7 all the time. So it's very important, you know, like how much of the level you go into it. And it's important that you understand that you can also play the level of the game the more you're conscious about it. So right now, as I told you, you know, how engaged I am, because, you know, I choose to do what I want to do, and I'm actually just giving that energy to what I do. So most of the time, and also my characteristic, you know, like a DNA, you know, like the way that I behave is important. But I actually just work a lot of my self-consciousness, you know, to be able to give this session for many years, to actually be on the 5 and 6. So it's more like a peace and joy. However, playing the level with the consciousness is very important for your leadership, because, which means that you're using a various level of energy that works for you in a certain circumstance. So the more you are conscious about it, the more you can say that, oh, I choose to angry in this situation, versus you are always angry at anything, because you're just kind of, you know, like your energy level, your playing level, or just, you know, kind of making a decision which level you want to be at is not the same as being at that level. So it's quite important that when you think about, you know, like level 1 is that I lose all the time. This is what I think. So the second is like you lose because I'm angry. The third one is I win. And if you win, that's okay, but I'm going to win anyway. And then level 4 is you win. Level 5, we both win. Level 6, everyone always wins. Do you see how the mindset is changing? And level 7 is actually just breaks through the illusion of winning or losing completely. So that's the leaders that actually just run or just be at 6 or 7. They are the ones that is actually like very high in EQ, you know, like growth mindset. However, they can play consciously. Consciousness is the level of your self-awareness. That's why, you know, like your purpose and intention is very important. You can actually go and just, you know, choose the level that you want to be at. And I'm going to give an example. So I've been in HR for a long time. So even if, you know, my level is 5 or 6, if an employee does something unethical, not accepted, right? Some behaviors that, we cannot accept, it's a bad behavior, and I can actually just choose to be at the level 2, where you lose, which means that you're not going to be in this company anymore. Or I can actually be on the, like the 3rd level at some cases, where I can actually just make a great solution for people that we can both win, and which actually happen. In some cases, some of the people resign from the company that I work at, and then they find a better opportunity that fits for their skills and passion. So this is very important that, like the more you're conscious, it's not just a game that you can play, but even playing around this and looking and just thinking through your level of energy, I think it helps. It helps in life and how you perceive yourself. As I said, that you create your own reality, and the law of attraction and the question mark. So the law of attraction is that what you think and focus is what you attract to your life. Have you ever experienced this, that what you think something negative, that the negative things happen, or if you're just around the people that are negative, that you just, like kind of see the world like that? So it's very important. It works, the way that you think about the desire and belief and accept. So what you can actually remember is like DBA. How can I just, like think about my DBA? You don't have to just say purpose or intention. You can just actually use different words, different techniques. But the law of being, which is the law of attraction, is where you create your own reality. And the desire is that, like what you want to be more specific about, what you want, including the feelings. So how I just told you about the motivation, or you actually wrote all your motivators, like on the screen. Think about all those, like motivators that if you can think of, like the moment that you actually feel those energies, you can be more specific about what you want that makes you that motivation. So, and that's what I give an example of, like money, because most of the people think that, okay, we're here to make a dream come true. No, there's not a perfect job. There's always, like ups and downs. We're here to actually raise the self-awareness. We're just actually here to just, like design our life. And that's quite important to see yourself from that mirror. Because then when you have the desire, you have the intention, another word, like for intention is purpose. So you just include yourself when how you feel and when you have it. There's always, like equation, and what you love doing and why you're doing is the motivation, because that's actually where the desire comes from. And then you put 100% of energy on that and figuring out what blocks you. So today, if you can just say, I want to come to US or Europe, and I want to study, I want to do my MBA, or I want to just, like be a pharmacist or a singer. And you're going to think the next thing, what blocks me? Their beliefs in your mind. Comes from childhood, comes from your society. That blocks you. Oh, because I don't have money. How am I going to speak English? How am I going to just, like actually earn money in the US? Those are the blocking energy that you're going to work on. But once you have that consciousness, oh, you're actually you're 1-0 on the game. And then you believe. Belief is very important. Believe that you can actually attain what you can. And that's exactly what, my life story comes into it, because I really didn't believe it. I was always, like at the 1, 2, 3, I lose. But when you switch your mindset, when you have actually grow into your belief, then the third one comes into it. You accept. You already accept that you are growing into something that you never thought you would. So it's very important to law of attraction. And I'm going to give one tip that is going to just maybe make some of you very, smile or laugh, but the law of attraction of how you create your reality, how you're going to end up with the people that you want to be for the rest of your life, either for a marriage, either for someone that you're going to be living and not getting married, or the people that you're going to be with today or tomorrow as a friend. And that's exactly where you're going to be attracting your energy. Or even with the, like the company that you're going to choose to work, or you want to just start your own company. It's either way, the equation goes all different, directions. So let's start with the empowerment principles, which is a little bit, I think it's going to make you think, at least, and I really want this to make you feel for 2021, if not today. So this one is the life offers neither problems nor challenges, only opportunities. And you might be like, oh my God, what are you talking about? But consider this, problems and challenges. And I'm not talking about the challenges that actually just comes with your passion. The challenges is like, I told you like, oh, it's a challenge for me to go to US or Europe or just want to pursue what I really want. But problems and challenges or issues, are creation of the fear-based perception in life. So when you're a fear-based perception in life, that's why you're actually trying to get out of your comfort zone. That's why it hurts, because that's why the fear comes. But when you transit that fear with what your energy and consciousness, what remains is the opportunity. So I think this is something that I really want you to keep in mind. I think I asked so many things to keep in your mind, but at least just the idea of it. You might still be thinking like, that's it? Yeah, sort of. It is. Because sometimes we make life so complicated, but it's your energy level that resonates with what you believe in life. And believing is not implementing. And that's why, you're going to be using a lot of different muscles, like designing your life, like through workshop at Blinkminds. It kind of helps you to think through out of yours, just, like day and night. So it's not just, like it's 2 + 2 is 4. The second one is the empowerment principles. So the answers to all questions lie within. I experienced this myself. I can just, like talk from a personal experience. Every one of us is greater and wiser than we appear to be. If anyone tells you he or she doesn't know the answer to something, remember that the person actually does. Is that the people sometimes just don't know to find the answers within themselves because it lies in a place that they haven't used to access it. They haven't used it. So like I never just had to develop a website, but when my passion came along, I actually knew that I actually can do some of it. So it's very important to think about it. And I'm going to just repeat one more time that 85% of the people that is actually goes into level 1 and 2, which means that they're angry, they just think they lose. And it is very normal. It's important that to think about the solutions are there. And that's why, like what you do and what you love, it automatically, you don't have to just put any effort on it. Automatically gives you the energy you need to fulfill yourself. And then you focus on the solutions and more than problems. So each moment describes who you are and gives you the opportunity to decide if that's who you want to be. And that's what, like where Blinkminds is. Today's version of you is the result of everything that you have ever experienced from the day you were born until the last night that you ate your dinner. So because your thoughts and feelings and emotions that you ever had and every action that have taken shapes who you are today. And that's why the question of asking yourself about the self-consciousness is not going to be answered today because it's not an easy question, but it can start today. So your today's version of you is a work process. That's why the design methods that I use with Blinkminds on my workshop, it kind of, helps you to figure out these, like the process. And the past doesn't really determine your future. And sometimes, we said, oh my God, I study, I study engineering, so I have to do that for the rest of my life. No, and that's going to be the empowerment principle, the next one. So it's important that, like you can choose, like to remind yourself and increasingly become who you truly want to be. And some of the people might think that, okay, when I ask the question who I am, I'm Nazlı. Or when I ask the question what I am, I'm the president of, United States. Or that's not what you do, is actually just a self-consciousness. So that's why I'm just trying to kind of tell you from a different perspective. This is one of my favorites because the greatest freedom is the freedom of choice. And maybe you have, like followed my Instagram page. I always say that it's from birth to death, right? So, but there's a C in between that, which is kind of give us a choice. And the people experience a completely different energy when they believe they have the freedom to choose rather than to be forced to do something. Even for kids, if you force them, they don't do it. So, but consciously or unconsciously, we are all forcing ourselves to do something. So if you just, like close your eyes, think about those, like motivators or peak performance where you feel recognized and achieved and acknowledged and, growth. And maybe that's going to give you a little bit of more thinking, like what the freedom, feels like, when you make a choice. Practice detached involvement. This also comes, like a little bit on the energy level, because this is also, like a very tough one with the growth mindset. You are the observer and participant. So that means that you need to be objective and subjective. So it's really like tough one, which offers the opportunity to fully empathize, like emotionally engage, and also, detaching ourselves. So basically not taking things personally. And that's very important. And that just comes with the emotional intelligence, which I always tell you. It's going to be, like one of the top one that has been researched, I think, published from Economic Forum for after 2020. EQ, it's going to be one of the basic leadership skills that is going to help them to grow mindset or just play with those energy. And few leaders are able to actually completely use their fully genius ability by learning to totally engage in whatever it is you do, intellectually or emotionally, and also remaining objective and detached from the judgment as well as results. So most of the very successful CEOs, not all of them are a great leader, but they're able to do this because that's how they can actually lead the whole company. But the easiest start is to focus on your intention. Today, if you haven't, you can't really just come to, like number 5, empowerment principles if you just, like don't work your intention, because that's the easy way to just start today. The next one is I'm not going to get into this, but, core energy leadership techniques. So basically, if you're working on these, like energy and the love, attraction, your purpose and, what you love doing, you just need to I told you about the blocking those, working on those blocks, like, okay, limiting beliefs, right? Challenge assumptions. So including myself, so many times in the workplaces, I said, don't assume, Nazla, don't assume. Don't assume that people know what you think, because they don't. And challenge interpretation. So that's why it's very important, from my slide to just communicating with the daily with your employees, with your team members, because it's very important to actually not use social media. Even if I love it, you guys love it, but it might get interpreted in a different way. So even if AI is going to be replacing so many things, even the cars, but human being, has this emotional and energy that is not going to go away. At least I don't believe in it. So assess the energy, which I'm going to be very quick, is that there are 3 primary ways to watch energy to see. If any of you is starting to be a leader right now with the team or starting your leadership experience, like new, you can assess, like energy of your team, like in 3 ways to actually just gives you an, idea what kind of team you have. So the first one is, like a visual, observe the facial and body expression to see how much and what type of, like energy is the person showing. And that also goes to what type of characteristic and behavior they're actually putting into, because that's very important. Some people, they don't talk, right? Doesn't mean that they don't listen or they don't understand. So it's very important to observe that visually and understand that everybody is different. Everybody is leading or their way in some way. Auditory is like listen carefully to the person's tone of voice, volume, word emphasizes, and silences. So even when you're listening to me, I love being sarcastic. I can't really hide that because it just comes into my presentation. If I memorize something, which I did, for many years when I was, studying in Turkey for university exam, I don't remember any of those. But when you come into your natural yourself and you see those people in front of you, then their tone of voice, their volume, their emphasis is very kind of just showing their characteristic. And you can help them even. You can actually guide them. Because if you see someone that has the anger all the time and that person is just thinking that they're losing all the time, they're going to be they're going to be showing in their voice. They're going to be showing. And then you can actually just coach them. You can lead them with the way that I told you, with the purpose-driven clarity, listening to them, and because they just want to be heard. Initiative, use any of your senses to detect clues about the energy that aren't, really obvious. So this just takes time. Some people are not just maybe easy to understand like I am, because I'm more enthusiastic, and some people are more like introverted, but at least, you're going to spend some time with the senses. My last two slides, and the energy block, I told you about it, and limiting beliefs, assumption, and interpretation. And this one is, I found this, I really loved it. I showed it in the few places. I really would like you to see you all in the 2%, right? 2% is this, and 98% of the population is this. So everything that I just actually told you, it's kind of, kind of getting you out of your comfort zone at some point, slowly but surely, and just making sure that you fulfillment your intention and purpose. And let's check out. So when you reframe problems, you're going to see solutions. If you connect your purpose, you're going to understand what you do, why you do, and what you love, and that's your motivation right there. And you try new things, you be curious, because the more you're curious, the more you're going to be understanding others much better. Know that it's a process, it's a design, and don't assume, ask for help. And it always reminds me when I just write this, one of the episodes from Jamie Yilmaz that, we think that we know everything, but we don't. So ask for help, please. And be emotionally intelligent. That's also important that for you to keep in mind. And my last slide is just to, before I say, maybe New Year, because after the New Year, I'm going to be starting, like a workshop where you actually just design your life, with all the steps: being awake, accept, focus, connect, and apply. And it's coming soon. And this is just kind of, like I give you what the benefits it's going to be. It's going to be a community. So it's not going to be just one workshop that you're going to just kind of disappear. You're going to be interacting, with the app, of Journey app, and you're going to be part of the Facebook group and interact with the global leaders. And you will have a chance to just to present and be yourself. The more you actually raise your self-awareness and run a project globally, I will be there. Leaders are going to be there to support you, whatever your passion